All right, today's guest is someone who lives and breathes resilience, transformation, and purpose. After walking away from a life shaped by fierce discipline of combat sports, Brandt didn't just change direction, he changed lives and continues to every day. Drawing from personal experience and a warrior's mindset reimagined for modern life, he now dedicates himself to mentoring men and boys in our community. Through powerful workshops, one on one mentorship, and a belief in the strength of emotional intelligence, Brandt helps others reconnect with purpose, develop self awareness, and build inner resilience. His work is rooted in compassion, not competition, and it's making a real difference. Brandt, your story is about finding strength, not just in the fight, but in the healing that follows. And I want to say a very, very big thank you for joining me today.
Oh, thank you for having me, Nyree. And that is such a nice introduction. Thank you. I I'm gonna have to steal that.
Oh, you can have it. It's all yours. I'll send you a
Oh,
copy.
cool. Yeah. Done
No,
well. Done
thank
well.
you
Yeah,
so
you've
much.
summed it up. Summed it up
Yeah.
well. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, as I mentioned, we were just talking before we recorded this or started recording. When I was putting together a list of people who I really wanted to talk to on this podcast about amazing people doing amazing work in the Rocky community, you were one of the first that came to mind because you're doing so much incredible work with men and boys in our community to help build their resilience and their mindfulness and their strength and just really truly owning who they are. And I follow what you do on socials. And of course, my son has attended one of your camps. And I just love everything about what it is that you do.
Thank you. Thank you. And as you said before too, you've been in a part of a lot of women's communities and supporting women, and it's not really about being biased or being, on one or the other. I think it's the same for me. I really love and respect women, and I do train women as well. It's just, I guess, the warrior's way is a bit of a passion, and just because of my own struggles, and I can relate and help that group of guys, men and young men, just really feel like that's where I've got a particular strength, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, and as I said earlier as well, before we caught up and started recording, I do a lot of stuff in the community with women and girls and
Mm.
children. And I definitely want this to be balanced. And I couldn't think of a
Yeah.
better person to bring on to talk about, the things that you work on every day than yourself. So yeah,
Cool.
really lucky
Cool.
you're here.
Nice. Nice. We've got the male and female coming together to talk
That's
to
it.
talk shop. Yeah. So good. So
That's
good.
it. So before we get really stuck into what it is that I do want to ask you, I want to find out first of all if you could instantly become an expert in any obscure topic in the world, what would it be?
An obscure topic.
Any
Um,
topic. It could be an easy topic or an obscure topic. What's something you would love to be an absolute expert in?
do you know, I think it's got to be something that relates to what I do. I think I like to tie everything together, with my job is also my passion, which is also good for the community, which is also what I love to do. It's like martial arts. So I think there's being a movement practitioner. It's not necessarily martial arts, but it's about, moving your body and the connection between your body, mind, and emotions. And I'm going to start a course next month on, this kind of thing. It's all Qigong and energy kind of stuff. And just really love the interconnectedness and understanding all of that kind of stuff. So I guess it's kind of, I feel like the depth that some of the martial arts is missing, or maybe it wasn't missing, traditionally when it was first started and formed, but it's just not, I guess it's not as prevalent in practice or in training, or focused on. I really love that kind of aspect, and I reckon I'd love to be an expert in just movement. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it sounds like it's not even just an obscure dream for you. You're actually going to make it happen.
Yeah, well, I guess I have a friend. His name's Jack Kavanagh. He lives in Yeppoon, and he does a movement class. And me and my brother Daniel have been sort of going for a couple of years, and it's I feel like it complements everything that I do, not just martial arts, but how I move and how I how I the relationship with my body, you know.
Mm.
So I kind of love exploring that, and it just sort of, I guess, helping me to learn myself on a different level, you know. So yeah, it's different. It's cool. Yeah,
Yeah, no, awesome. Well, that's exciting. I look forward to watching that unfold.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So getting stuck into who you are and what drives you and your influences across your lifetime, is there any people or moments or experiences from your early life that shaped who you are today?
Yeah, I think my dad was a big influence for me, you know. When I was young, my parents separated, and so I didn't see as much of my dad as I would have liked, and he was always, I don't know. I think for a young man, like their father is always someone that they look up to and admire and want to be like, and he was, fairly relevant in our community, into rodeo and camp drafting, and it's a beef capital, so we're all country people, and I just felt like everybody knew Dad, and I just wanted to be, just like him in a lot of ways. So you know, so we moved. I didn't see him all that much, and my stepfather was my karate instructor. So I guess he was another father figure in my life, and I love karate, and I wasn't into rodeo and horses as much as my dad was. I guess the martial arts was kind of my passion, so kind of a black sheep of the family. But I guess growing up with those two influences, they were big influences in my life, Um, and I still very much have a good connection with all the country people, and I did ride bulls when I was growing up,
Oh, wow.
um, but I just obviously my love for martial arts and I guess wanting to be a champ one day was always a big dream for me, and so yeah, that was, I guess, probably the major influences and people that I kind of looked up to at the start. Yeah,
Yeah, amazing. I
yeah,
I'm not sure if I've shared this before, but I absolutely love martial arts. I did it
yeah.
from the age of 7 until 21,
What
and
did you do? I
I
didn't
did
realize.
Taekwondo.
Okay, yep,
Yeah, I
yep.
did
In
a
Rocky.
very short stint at karate, but went straight back to Taekwondo. In
Okay,
Rocky, yes, and then in Brisbane when I moved there as well.
right. Yeah,
Yeah,
nice, nice. So you're a bit of a
absolutely love
kicker.
it.
You can
uh,
kick.
yeah. Yeah, I've got a couple of trophies and medals from different things I competed in over the years.
Oh, nice.
I love martial arts for the way it can shape a person. So again, that's
Yeah,
probably why I look up to you so much and admire the work that you do, because it's a set of values and skills
yeah,
and a way of being that you actually
yeah.
can't get unless you undertake a form of martial arts, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when I was growing up, there was the dojo kun. Dojo kun is kind of like a set of values, and we would do like this little prayer after training, and there was, five rules, seek perfection of character, be faithful, endeavor, respect others, and refrain from violent behavior. And
Mm,
those kind of five values have really stuck with me, and they've sort of shaped me in a big way.
mm,
But I don't think that it's just martial arts. I think that if you have a good coach in any form, whether it be music or sport, or if you have a coach with a set of values like that that you look up to, then you're going to sort of encompass those values in whatever it is that you're doing. Hey, so it's just like martial arts just seems to have that mystique and philosophy about it. But yeah.
It sure does. My when I end up on a bit of a what we call a doom scroll and I end up in the land of
Hey,
reels because I don't do TikTok. I end up on all of these karate, taekwondo, mixed martial arts type, just shorts of people
oh
competing,
yeah.
doing epic stuff, and I just it still to this day has a physical response in my body where I just am so
Okay.
excited at seeing people do that sort of technique. Yeah.
Yeah, the control of the body, hey. And
Mm.
that was like, I guess, more influences for me growing up. I just loved watching Bruce Lee, and the Karate Kid, like the original, was that
Yes.
was kind of what got me started right in the beginning.
I loved that
Uh,
movie.
yeah, and now it's like the UFC. Do you watch the UFC?
Oh, when it's on in the background. Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't watch
Okay.
a lot of telly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But I do
yeah.
end up on those reels occasionally and go into a bit of a
Ah, yes.
spiral. It's
Yeah,
either,
yeah.
America or Britain or Australia's Got Talent, amazing voices and talents,
Yes.
or it's martial arts. Those are the
Yeah.
two areas that I end up down.
You know what I love? I love more than I guess this is like kind of me growing a little older, but I kind of like the stories behind it all a little more now. If it's got a touching story or there's like like where an underdog has come back or where this means something to this person and just watching that is just so good. I love all that kind of stuff. That's when
Yeah.
I get on my scrolling rants. It's like it's all like the same kind of thing. It's those X Factor, Britain's Got Talent or something like that. And
Mm.
yeah, those inspiring stories. I love all that stuff.
Yeah, same. It
Mm.
might be an age thing, who knows? Um,
Yeah.
so I'm really curious, like, for you to share a little bit about your path and purpose. Sorry, your path to where you are now, and the purpose that you find in what it is that you do. Like, you mentioned your stepdad and your dad inspiring a lot of your journey. Was there a particular turning point that led you to what you're currently doing? Like, what does your journey to date look like?
Yeah, well, obviously, inspired from a young age to do martial arts. And then I guess, through those teenage years and young adulthood, just wanting to be the champ, wanting to be a competitor and an athlete, being quite physical. And, just, always been, very hardworking and disciplined, I guess, because of karate from a young age. And my parents making me go when I didn't want to. That was, I didn't like it at the time, but looking back, it was a good thing. Taught me discipline. Uh, and and I had a great career in karate. We traveled the world, and we Leah at my side just about everywhere we went, and obviously she's quite good at karate as well. She hasn't
Mm,
trained for a while, but she's like she's a lot of people don't realize Leah's a second degree black belt, and she's won at nationals before, and
yeah,
she's
that's
quite good. She's
amazing.
a very good kicker.
Yes.
And maybe you two could do some sparring.
When we're not recording, I'll tell you about a
Yeah,
bit of a
okay,
limitation
yeah,
that I
yeah.
have in that space now.
Okay.
My body's let me down over the years.
Yeah, well, Leah hasn't trained for a while either. We might make that match, Rocky Charity Boxing, hey?
Yeah. I don't think
Um,
we'll hit the same weight category though.
oh, okay, right. Well, so after I guess I got to a certain age, like uh I started into mixed martial arts after I sort of had enough with karate. There was a turning point where I was using personal development to try and become a better athlete, to try and win more competitions. And I had a really good mentor who kind of opened my eyes up to things. And I guess I kind of started doing MMA and pushing myself and challenging myself more for personal development rather than the other way around, you know? So, and that sort of became more of an obsession. So I was actually competing to, try and just be better because if I put myself under pressure and stress and I could still stay calm and stay clear and have an even mindset, then I felt like I was growing, and then in 2019, 38, I had a big fight that I lost, and I guess it was kind of like the realization that um, I couldn't keep doing it, and my body's getting older. I wasn't having fun anymore. I wasn't really enjoying it. I was just going through the motions, and it took me a long time to sort of realize that I was a long time retired, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
That's it hasn't been a turning point where it was just all of a sudden, no, we're doing this now. I'm not doing that anymore. It was kind of more of a gradual progression. So after, not competing for a while and sort of realizing that that I'm sort of past my prime and that, letting go of not being an athlete or a competitor, that was kind of hard for me because it's all I've ever wanted to do and it's all I've, ever aspired to be. And so losing that was like a loss of identity, I guess. I didn't know what I was supposed to do with myself or like what I was supposed to be aiming at or anything like that. And so I went through this whole finding myself kind of journey and obviously Rockhampton Charity Boxing, which is an event that we run. The first one that we run, I kind of was the main event there, and that was a clawing back of from that dark time of not knowing who I was and kind of that was the real turning point for me, I guess, to realize that what we were doing in the community and how martial arts had helped and how I could help other people. And it gave me a bit more direction, a new path or a new beginning, And so now this is, I feel, more meaningful and more fulfilling than just winning competitions for myself, like seeing other people win and knowing that I had a part to play in somebody else feeling, different about themselves or, you know, conquering that mountain or, like getting through whatever they've got to get through or, it's
Such a sense of
it's
pride when you can be a part of someone else's journey.
yeah.
Absolutely. Mm.
Yeah, it's different. It's a lot better. And I'm a lot happier now, I think, than kind of I kind of ever was. I think I had somebody ask me the other day, would I go back and would I do it all again, or would I, want to go back and be at my best? And I said, well, no, because I'm happier now.
Mm.
This is actually where I'd rather be. And my body's still good. I can still train. I can still, do most things. And uh but what I'm doing now is heaps more important and yeah, it just feels better, feels right.
Yeah, that's
Mm.
great. And when you wake up every day with a sense of purpose and you know exactly what it is that you're doing and why, it is very cliche, but it's like you never work a day in your life really because
Yeah.
you're just doing what you love. Mm.
Well, yeah, that's right. It is like having purpose. I think for a lot of blokes too, having purpose, something to do, something to achieve. There's it gives you direction, doesn't it? And
Mm.
a bit of stability, something to work, towards or to. It's good. Yeah, I really like it. And not all days are diamonds. I don't wake up every day inspired, jumping out of bed, like punching the air and yeah, let's go. It's just uh but um but it is better now having, direction and something that's worthwhile and meaningful. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That's awesome. And I love
Hmm.
the realism behind it as well. Yeah, of course, we don't wake up, yeah, punching the air every day going, yeah, let's go, let's bring it
Yeah,
on, because, that's a little bit delusional. If
yeah,
somebody is waking up like that, yay for them, but it might not be
yeah,
entirely accurate. Yeah.
yeah.
So how do you think, like, obviously being a local forever and a day,
Hmm.
how do you think living in Rocky has, or, on the Cap Coast and having that close proximity to our beautiful Cap Coast, but how do you think it's helped shape your story, and what does that community contribution mean to you when you think about your the mentoring, but also the charity boxing?
Well, you know, um, growing up in Rocky, it feels, I guess, like it's just home. I was born in Rockhampton, I um I've traveled the world, and every time we've gone anywhere, it's been great, exciting, but coming home and just the pace here, I feel like is a little bit slower, and the we've got such a beautiful place to live, the
Yeah,
beaches and
agree.
the bush. Yeah, yeah. And I live at Coral, so we're
Mm,
like halfway between Rockhampton and Yeppoon, where, we've got the beach and the bush right there, and it's beautiful. And I love it when we can just, go down to the shops or go and get a coffee. Like this morning, Leah and I went and got a coffee, and might run into someone that we know and have a chat, see, some friends, and um, I um, I just feel like we're so lucky. We've got such a beautiful place to live in, and it's not overrun. It's not flat out like Sunshine Coast. Um,
absolutely agree.
it, yeah, yeah. I mean, were you born? You were born in Rocky, Nari?
Oh, unfortunately, I wasn't, but my whole family's from Rocky, and I've been here since I
Yeah.
was 18 months old. The only reason, I have to put this out there, the only reason I was born in Mackay was because my dad worked for the railway and he was based in Serena. So
Okay.
we are a Rocky family. He just happened
Yes.
to be in Serena at the time working,
Okay.
and mum had me, and yeah, I was at Mackay Hospital, but
Oh
I'm a
yeah.
Rocky girl. I just ignore the fact that I was born in Mackay.
Yeah.
I grew up here.
Yeah.
I went to school here. I
Yeah.
did go away for a couple of years to Longreach and then to Brizzy, but then came home.
Yeah.
And I have
Yeah.
that same experience and feeling as you, where Rocky is just home. Yeah,
Just home, yeah. I love the people, I've heard this quote, that it's not the journey, it's not the destination, it's the people that you travel with, and I think I might have said that wrong, but you get the idea, right?
I
It's
do.
about the
Yes,
people. Yeah,
that's right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I find it a bit of a deviation, but I find it interesting when people share, oh, I'm fine on my own. I don't need anyone. I don't need anything. And I think to myself, you're human. All humans need connection, regardless of
Yeah.
how strong and resilient and confident and competent you are on your own. Everybody needs to feel loved, and
Yes.
they need to feel connection.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. And that's a big thing that we do with training, that's having a supportive environment. The walk and talk guys do it too, like
Mm,
it's about connection. And when you're in an environment where it's positive and encouraging, and people are, wanting to better themselves, then it's our nature to want to fit in and be
mm,
a part of that, and it's so much easier, to go along with the crowd. I feel like that's my greatest tool, my greatest
mm.
weapon against, people that might not be doing so great. It's like we're just going to change their environment. You just got to put them in a place where they feel loved, or supported, or safe.
That's right. Yeah.
Mm,
I love the work that the walk and talk guys do.
yeah.
I see their photos. I see the crowd of men that turn up at their
Yes.
nightly walks, I think they are, or they might be weekly
Yep.
minimum. And I'm just like cheering, absolutely cheering.
Yeah.
And I know
Yeah,
that if
it's
there's men in my world in Rocky that need a friend or just someone to walk with in silence, but just to not do it alone, that
yeah.
I'm always like, go to walk and talk, go to walk and talk, like go to walk and talk. Mm.
Yeah, they're great. We actually did an in-house fight show last night.
Hmm.
And so what I do is we do this program called the Zero to Hero,
Mm.
and where I train a bunch of guys up for a couple of months, and then and they get a meal plan, and the training is sort of it's like a beginner fight camp. It's not a full-on professional fight camp because most people are just busy householders, and they've got a life outside of martial arts or boxing or whatever, and then at the end we do a like just an in-house event where they all fight each other,
Mm-hmm.
and we invite all their friends and family and general public, and we do a couple of raffles, and we had the beneficiaries for last night was the Walk and Talk and the Gumby Gumby Drug and Alcohol Rehabilitation Centre.
Oh, great.
So they're just two great, community services that do great work, and so we love those guys, and so just really good to support them. Yeah, I think a lot of those guys, yeah, it's
Mm.
excellent work they do. Yeah.
Absolutely agree. Um,
Mm.
if you think about everything that you've experienced to date, all of the challenges, the triumphs, the joy, the loss, the grief, that finding yourself, personal development. What do you think, if you could identify just one? I know it's hard. If I was to be asked this question, it would be very hard. But what is the standout, most meaningful lesson you've learnt, and how has it influenced your perspective?
You know, Leah and I were talking about that this morning over coffee, and you know, um, and I think that it would have to be well, not most recently. It's not like I've just learned it, but it's like something that's sinking in more and more. It's just to be kind.
Mm,
My wife is one of the kindest people that I know,
she sure
She's
is.
really rubbing off on me, and I think that kindness is just, it's not a quality that we really celebrate in a lot of people, and we don't highlight the importance of kindness
Mm,
and the difference that it can make in somebody's life just by being kind,
mm,
just by saying or acknowledging something just for the sake of doing it, just because it's a kind thing. It can have such a huge impact, a kind word to a young boy who might be struggling, that he's doing well, and to just keep going by somebody that he looks up to might be everything, and but we highlight, or we really focus on like attributes uh oh, ambition and those kinds of things. It's like, well, like how much has ambition helped somebody to be lifted up, or I mean, how much does that inspire people versus just being kind? I don't know,
mm,
but I find that I'm by being kinder to myself internally, I'm find that I'm more kind outwardly to other people, and not my ex keeping my expectations under control, not expecting too much from myself or from other people,
mhm.
just being kinder. I think that's probably the biggest lesson that I've learned, and that's probably had the most impact on just my own peace of mind,
Mm. No, I
and
love that. That's
yeah,
that's a wonderful lesson, and I think it it even gets better as we get older as well. Like you really
Mm.
start to appreciate the world around you, the people around you, and yeah, focusing on being kind. And you're exactly right. If if there's a young person out there who is really struggling, but you're kind to them and you share with them, you're doing well, keep going. It reminds me of one of my favorite sayings. I have a lot of them. I should write them down one day. But it's you to the world, you could just be one person, but
Yeah.
to one single person, you could be the whole world, and you might not even know it. So,
Yeah.
for you, you might have a young boy who's training with you who just thinks you're, everything because of, your kindness and what you're teaching him. And yeah, I think that's amazing. And
Mm.
if I can, yeah, touch briefly on obviously the tragic circumstances which led to the Be Kind movement in Rocky, with Taylor Black and Murphy Margaret being taken away from us. But as a result of that experience in our community, there's Be Kind stickers everywhere, and there's Be Kind bracelets that are being worn. I think
Yeah.
I've got them in a million different colors. And
Yeah.
I think that's a brilliant reminder for everyone in our community, because you never know what someone's going through. And
No.
you could make or break their day, or you could, pull them out of a dark place and help them redirect. And you just don't know the impact you have. Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a student come in the other day, and he spoke to me about how he felt because he'd missed training. He'd said that he was coming, and he hit the snooze button. And because we start at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I like people to be there before 5 o'clock.
Mhm.
And he hit the snooze button, and then it went off again at 5 o'clock, and he'd missed training. And for the next 2 days, he was in his own head, being quite upset with himself about, you know, not so much that he missed training, but because of his lack of integrity, that he felt that that he felt like he said he was going to be there. He hit snooze, he didn't turn up. And so he turned up, a little bit sheepish the next day to train, the next on the Thursday for training, and just really sorry that he missed it, and he meant to be there, but he slept in, and I said, that's all right, man. It doesn't matter. You're here now. That's all that matters. Let's just train. And um, and he said that just took all the weight off of him. They're just like, oh, it's okay. Like it doesn't matter. And in the past, maybe I've been quite strict in the past, and I've been said, well, you should have been here. Like we're training for this event, and you couldn't even get up, because your alarm. And maybe that's kind of how I've been in the past with myself, but. Um, I guess since I've, been a little bit more kind and let go of those expectations, and it just was a realization for me that, oh, that was a better way to go. He'd already bashed himself enough in his own mind. I didn't need to say anything more and make it worse. Like I just needed to
Absolutely.
encourage him, to like that it doesn't matter, to let it go, and just to keep showing up. And I think that was probably the best thing I could have said to him. It was, it's only going to motivate him even more to come next time. So, yeah.
Absolutely agree. And
Mm.
yeah, I think it's really important that we all place a lot of pressure on ourselves, and we all can,
Mm.
beat ourselves up about different things. But if we just focus on being a better version of ourselves tomorrow than what we are today, we're winning. Like keep putting one foot
Yeah.
in front of the other and just focus on being a better version, whether it's physically, your well-being, health in general. Yeah, it's important.
Yeah.
Mm.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I have one more question for you. And
Shoot.
it's if we think about what drives you today and all of the amazing work that you do, what advice would you give to share with the next generation, or what legacy would you like to leave for them so that they come along through and have a bit of a helping hand in how to navigate this world?
Oh, so like what one single thing, if I had to, like, if
It
I
could
had
be
my,
multiple things.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, what do you think is really important to share with our next generation?
Well, I think what I'm what I really like to do, what I really love, what really inspires me is um I guess I did this for myself a lot, and that was just changing the way that I think about myself, and I really love it when I can help somebody see themselves in a different light, when they see themselves greater than they ever imagined themselves to be, that they realize that they are something special, and if I could somehow just get people to see how truly great that they really are, because I feel that we're all really great just the way we are, just by being here, just as you are,
Mhm.
at this moment in time, without having to have achieved anything. That's what I would love to be able to help people with. And I guess if I was going to leave a message behind, it would be something like, change your perspective of yourself.
Mhm.
Change how you see yourself. Find the way that you want to see yourself. Like, I mean, if it's authentic, if it's real, and if it's, for the good, then like it can have such a big impact. If you can change the way you view yourself, yeah, then that really changes the way that you view the world, um, and really that can have such a huge effect on not just you, but everybody around you. Yeah,
Absolutely agree. And I
yeah,
think that reminds me as well, like when we do talk about how hard we are on ourselves, that self-talk, I always like to share with people, when they are beating themselves up. Would you say those things about your friend to their face? If not, like if you're saying, "Oh, I'm stupid, I'm no good at this, I can't do this, or I'm going to fail," would you say that to your friend? Like, "Oh, you're stupid, you're going to fail, you're no good at this." You probably wouldn't unless you're not a kind person. um,
yeah.
so if you're not going to say those things to a friend, don't say them to yourself.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Leah and I were talking in the car this morning, and it was Leah and I had a lot of deep, meaningful conversation this morning. It was really cool. I guess we were both kind of inspired from the fight night last night, because it was all warm and fuzzies last night, and so
So
we got
good.
up in a pretty good mood. And I like the idea that thoughts are like people. And it's kind of like you can, you can have, positive people in your life, or negative people, or toxic people, or, there's people that you'll marry, there's people that you'll, want to hold close, there's people that you'll want to stay away from and not be influenced by. And so, what kind of people do you want to hang around, and what kind of people are you going to listen to and take advice from? Similarly, if it was, internally, not externally, what are the thoughts that you want to keep? What are the thoughts and the I guess the influences that you want to let go of that aren't serving you, those toxic, repetitive thoughts. And if they say that you surround yourself by, with positive people, then you're probably more likely to be positive. Well, I think that, what you think about becomes the nature of the mind. So if we start thinking more positively, or, change, or witnessing, or realizing what we're thinking about, and what we're hanging on to, or then, you know, um, then we can decide how we want to think or view ourselves, or because we can decide who we want around us and who we want to hang out with, like
Hmm.
kind of, yeah, what kind of thoughts do we want to hang out with and be with, and
Absolutely agree.
yeah, it's our choice. And I think if you change one externally, maybe if I hang around better quality people and people who want to raise me up, I'm going to have better quality thoughts and,
Mm,
I'm going to think, higher vibrational thoughts. But and then I guess it may work the opposite way around too, where if I think more positively and I'm being more kind and I'm respecting myself, then other people will start to, you know, respond to that and respect me
impact.
more and want to be around me more, and there's going to be more love in my life outwardly. So I think it's maybe just a cool insight. It's getting a bit deep now.
That's okay. That's it reminds me of the saying that you are essentially the sum of the five people that you hang out with the most.
Yeah,
And if you're really struggling to understand why something's not working in your world, have a look at the five people that you hang out with the most and figure out if
yeah,
some changes need to be made.
yeah, that's right. And I think maybe the same is true internally, right? Like we think the same thoughts all the time. Like, what are those five thoughts that you think about on repeat? You
Mm.
know, um, so yeah, it's a good one to study. Yeah,
Yeah, no, well, thank you so much for doing this with me this afternoon. I'm
yeah.
really excited to share your story. I'm really excited to keep watching your journey, and you are very inspirational to me. And I'm so glad
Oh,
you said yes to doing this.
oh, thanks, Nyree. Well, I'm happy to. I love what you're doing. I love the idea for the podcast. I know it'll go well.
Yeah, thank
Um,
you.
I want to plug Rocky Charity Boxing while I'm
Go
with
for
you.
it.
It's a great community event. That is probably one of the most meaningful things that I do. Rocky Charity Boxing, and I love it so much. Not because of the funds we raise for, men's health, although that is fantastic, but it's really about the people that are getting in there and having a go and stepping into the arena and challenging themselves. And a lot of those people are doing it because they've either been affected by, men's mental health themselves or their family, and it means something to them. So this year will be at the Great Western Hotel on the 29th of November. The beneficiaries are going to be the Walk and Talk Collective
Great.
again, that we did that last year. And I think that this year will probably be our biggest year yet. Yeah.
That's so exciting. I'm going to put
Yeah.
that in my calendar and hopefully I'm around for it because I'd love to come along and watch and be involved.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We'd love to have you. It'd be
Yeah.
fantastic.
No, well, thank you so much again. And I really look forward to the next time we catch up and keep doing the amazing things that you're doing.
Cool. Thanks, Nori. Thanks, Nori. I'm looking forward to seeing more like future podcasts.
Hmm. I've got some amazing guests lined up. Our town is honestly just riddled with incredible people thinking
Yeah.
they're flying under the radar, just chipping away, and I'm going to find them and I'm going
So
to share
good.
their story.
Yeah, that's excellent. So
Yeah.
good.
No, thank you so much. We'll talk soon.
Okay. Thanks, Nori.
Bye.